This week on Bread, we meet a couple who escaped the city to entertain the bush. Hi, I'm Meredith and welcome to Bread and welcome to Castlemaine. This beautiful little town set in rural Victoria is the focus of our first story. David and Sarah moved here from the city to give their kids a better start. Problem was how to make a living. Well, they took over the old movie theatre in the middle of town and proceeded to make a few changes. Question is, how do the locals feel about it?
I lived in Melbourne, and although I loved the area, I didn't feel safe having my kids sort of play in the front garden without me being there. In Melbourne, the boys were involved in a Steiner school there, and we came to Castlemaine so that they could attend the Steiner school here. It's a different style of teaching where it's far more artistic and creative, nurturing system. In looking for property to come and buy, we discovered that the Theatre Royal was up for sale.
Castlemaine's Theatre Royal boasts the claim of being Australia's oldest running cinema. It began life in 1854 as the Victorian Goldfields' premier theatre. It's the perfect business venture for David and Sarah. He's an events marketing manager and she's a restaurateur.
It was totally unexpected the way we sort of uncovered it and thought, well, you know, why not?
Well, the price tag for one, $870,000. The couple approached friend Julian de Crespinay, a property restorer with a lively interest in the Art Deco period. And as the theatre's last makeover was in 1938, it took his fancy straight away.
Well, I bought the building, so I invested in the freehold, and the building came with the business, so we bought the whole thing. We set up a structure where my company owns the freehold. We set up a separate company to run the business, and we own 50-50 in the company that runs the business.
David and Sarah took over in the first week of December. Their first move was to close the doors for a $15,000 refurbishment of the foyer and front milk bar. And that's the time they discovered the Castlemaine locals had a healthy interest in the theatre's well-being.
We've really found that we have to be very careful about what we do. We've been told by a lot of people, not only our customers but our suppliers and local media and what have you, that be careful with what you do with the theatre, because you realise it's you may have the keys, but it's our theatre.
Winning over that local support is imperative for this business to survive. With plans to spend a further $40,000 on upgrading the building, they have to start generating a healthy profit to help pay for the refit. And that's why their first big event as the new managers is so important. David and Sarah have planned a special screening of Casablanca, complete with a candlelit seafood dinner for two.
So I guess one of the difficulties is that we've not really set the room up before for a function like this.
Come through, this is our kitchen, supposedly. The most antiquated stove I've ever seen. So tonight, we're not doing the food. We've got a restaurant around the corner, staffs, who are going to do the catering for this evening.
It would cost $50,000 to $80,000 to set up a commercial kitchen, so it makes sense to build a rapport with a next-door neighbour.
So what we've basically done is $30 a ticket. We've basically getting $15 for the food, they're getting $15 for running the film and supplying the venue.
So I just wanted to let you know, I've just come out of the theatre and there's not enough space.
They've got a fit day, I'll come down.
More than 100 people have already bought tickets, and there's less than an hour until doors open. To make matters worse, the printers have broken down before running off the menus.
The printer at home has run out of ink, just to throw another spanner in the works.
And new staff are still being trained.
Now guys, I'm sorry, I've just worked in fine dining for so long. The crease and the tablecloth to go in the same direction.
The queuing crowd can't wait any longer, and it's time to leave their fate in the hands of the ultimate critics, the people of Castlemaine.
I'll take you to your seat. Now Steph's your waiter this evening. It's going well, but we're sitting everyone a bit slower than I would have liked to have. I think it's a lovely old place.
We've been here lots of times and we just can't believe that they managed to get all these people in on these little romantic, tiny little tables. It's beautiful.
We've managed to get everybody seated, served, the movie's rolling, and everyone's happy. So that's half the battle won.
This was the hardest thing to do for us, so I'm glad we've, pretty much got through this.
So, they've managed to woo the locals with Casablanca. But how will they go when they unveil their more daring plans for the theatre? Find out after the break. Town of Castlemaine, and are trying new events to win over the locals. The more people they get through their doors, the more money they'll have to fund their grand plans for the 150-year-old building.
This is backstage at the Theatre Royal, which is now a bed and breakfast. Great part of the business, a really unique space. So not only great in terms of a revenue stream for us, but also to be able to have a place for our friends, contacts, people that we're dealing with to stay. Also a great spot for bands to use as their backstage area.
After moving to their new home, David and Sarah found they had to scale back some of their big city ideas to suit a more modest target market.
Well, I guess initially we had planned to put in the a la carte restaurant, which was going to be priced a lot higher than I think the town could sustain. Maine's $25 to $30, and I think that Castlemaine is a low-income town, and I don't think that our business would have worked if we'd done that.
From Casablanca to Baba.
But one big change they've put into effect immediately is to bring back live acts, a result of feedback they've received from the people of Castlemaine. So they're testing the waters with a brave choice. ABBA tribute band Baba.
Well, we're hoping that this goes well tonight. So if it does, we're in good stead. We've booked a lot of bands for the next couple of months.
In a town also known as the hot rod capital of Australia, how will the platforms and sequins go down with the locals? The ticket price is $25 a head, and they need at least 200 people to turn up just to cover costs.
I told Renee they all had the night off. I hadn't counted on them at all. Sorry, may as well save on wages, honey.
With Baba about to go on stage, there's a nervous wait for the crowd to appear. Just before the first platform hits the stage, the crowd finally starts pouring in. David and Sarah have struck the right chord. Baba is a huge hit with the Castlemaine locals.
Haven't danced for a long time. Oh, it's wonderful.
Fantastic night. Whoa, I've lost my moustache.
Absolutely the best. It was great. Yeah, no, so much energy in there. They're just terrific. Remember the good old days. Yep, it's alive.
The crowd of just under 200 people is a little smaller than expected, but David and Sarah believe the next day's Bush Telegraph will more than make up for it.
You could say, look, it's a lot of work for not much reward financially, but I guess that this is a new venture. This is our first live band night.
You know, it'll make people talk about us. We're doing something unusual here, and, you know, the advertising with word of mouth, I think it's worth it.
Clearly, David and Sarah are on a winner, and they've now booked more live acts with big names like singer Deborah Conway, comedians Will Anderson and Jamoan. Now it's your turn to be the expert. Tell us in 25 words or less your business tip for the Castlemaine Theatre Royal. We'll pass the best tip on to David and Sarah, and the winner will receive a Dell Axim handheld computer to stay organised, valued at $550. For all the details and to enter, go to breadtv.com.au.